faction focus, Poxxus. So I think it's almost a month since we did the last faction focus, or 6 weeks, or 5 weeks. I don't know. It's a long time. So faction focus, and now we do the story super fast this time because I want everyone to know the origin story. Two great beings, Helios and Selene, created mythos. Selene created the characters, the humans and dwarves and elves, and she loved what she created. Helios, who loved Selene, got furious that Selene now loved her creations more than she loved him. So he decided to create his own beings, like, not as cute, but orcs and stuff like that. He even got so furious, so he created, or actually, we will get more details. 4 great beings were created: Ilithia, Necronominus, Arethyr, and Poxxus. So it kind of got out of hand, and these beings started smashing everything of mythos. So Selene, she didn't exactly fell in love back with Helios. Instead, she created the 4 great beasts: Cylona, Aetheron, Odysseus, and Basilia. And today we give some faction focus of Poxxus.
Poxxus. I'm so excited about Poxxus.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Poxxus. That wave. Here we have the world map of Mythos. I've scrolled down a little bit on the map because where we're gonna put the focus on today will be to the southwestern parts. There are no cities here, but we are looking at the netherworld, the
Nether Gate.
Nethergate, exactly. Let's move on. Here we have all the characters that have so far been introduced, or they're up for sale, or from the faction of Poxxus. And this time we're gonna start with Poxxus himself, the great god of Poxxus, the disease master. Just gonna give him a few details more. One thing that I want to say that is important about him is the Plague Sayer. The Plague Sayer is his arrow where he shoots diseases, and that has an important part in the future. But here we have Poxus and his steed, Flogius.
Flogius.
Is that how you would pronounce it? Flogius?
Yeah, like phlegm.
Is that like you're flogged? Perhaps? No? Okay.
Oh.
I'm asking here.
It looks like that's how you'd say it. I don't know what it's referencing to. I'm sure it has some sort of meaning or root word or something they're going for there. I don't know what it is, though.
Okay. Well, the bio for the horses are not far, so it's just the steed of Poxus. I want to now go for Asahazar, because he, the demon king of the Nether Realm, is it's the commander of all of Pox's army. Back at when the Great War was with all the great beasts and everything, then Poxus brought out Asahazar, or Asahazar. How would you pronounce it, guys? Asahazar. No, Asahazar. So he was brought out, being the king and the ruler of the Netherrealm. He was brought out by Poxus into the world of mythos to be the nightmare of all the mythos, and that worked out pretty good, except for there was a side effect, and Asahazar was split into 2 beings instead, Asar and Caesar. And Asar and Caesar are, they have pretty much the same power as Asahazar, but they're kind of divided. So Azar, the yellow one here, he is the creator. He can create life, and Caesar is more like, well, he touched you and you're dead, kind of thing. Still, after the First Great War, these two beings were the commander of of Poxxus, while Poxxus was no longer there.
I was thinking that
yeah.
I would love to cosplay as Azar and Zazar. Emil, you can be one. I'll be the blue one. And Steve, you can be Asahazar. The combination of us two. And we'll do that for LegionsCon.
Wow. That would be something, wouldn't it?
Would that be amazing? We should start working on that now.
Although I think you need Big Greg because he's so much bigger to be Asahazar.
Then you can be Zarya.
All right, next.
Zarya?
So I didn't mean to mess you up. Go ahead. Oh, I'd like to see that.
So, moving on to Zarya. She has similar powers to Azar and Caesar. She's, similar strength of powers, perhaps, except that she's casting a more exotic kind of spells. She is interested of taking command, being the commander instead of Azar and Caesar, since she feels like her powers are, well, they're similar. She could be the one to rule this. But of course, she's a little bit afraid for the day when Poxus come back and will bring Asahazar back, because Asahazar is a lot more badass than Zarya is. Zarya is, I love that character. She has something amazing about her.
She's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the chain of command that we know of in Poxus. I'm gonna go with the last of the demons we have so far. Some call the Jinn spirit, and some call them demon. I'm gonna go with the demon here, and it's a classic thing, with the jinns that are stuck to an object somehow. Like, the classic jinn of being in a lamp. But what we want to know about this Khalisir, the Aeromancer, is that he he is pretty pissed at his, former, the one who bind him to, well, kind of locked him down, I would say. He's pissed and he's out for revenge. And if you're a magic user and you're pissed and angry, then you're joining Poxus and not Basilia. So that's what he's doing.
Do they say who he's after?
No,
they don't. Okay.
No, just that he's a rare kind of jinn, so it's not the standard jinn. If we'll be seeing more, he wants revenge on the one who imprisoned him. So he must have broken free, and he wants his revenge.
Well, he's got his little lantern too.
He does have the lantern.
He's so like, yeah, maybe someone rubbed him the wrong way.
What I'm looking forward to the most with this is that we're actually Okay, I heard that. I heard it too late when I was gonna. That we're getting brute scale characters.
Brute scale is gonna be so cool.
Brute scale, awesome.
So these are the 4 demons, or 5 demons, I guess, depending on how you look at it. We're moving on to the Shadow Elves, and we have Malaki Cinderhorn. Interesting with Malaki Cinderhorn is one of the older characters, and my guess is that the world of Mythos wasn't as fleshed out as it is now. So when looking back at the older bios, we simply know that the Shadow Elves are, kind of like they're not the wonderful elves, and they're not the most corrupted vampires. There's something in, they're somewhere in between. And we know that Malaki Cinderhorn is the king, and we know that he belongs to the faction of Poxus, and we know that he, while being a warrior, he is more into, using his charm. But we don't know. I mean, he is a king, but we don't know where he ranks. I mean, Asahazar is a king, and Malekith Cinderhorn is the king. Maybe he should be put up closer in command on this line. I don't know, because there is maybe this wonderful book that we'll be getting might have more about this.
I think it kind of makes sense. I mean, I would see, Poxxus is at the top, and then we've got our like magical power bearing characters right under him, and then the world is probably inhabited more in this area by the shadow elves. Like, that's what you're going to most likely run into, because there's probably more of them than anything else, is how I kind of would see it. Like, when you're walking around, you're not going to be bumping into Azer and Zazer, but you're going to be bumping into these guys.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, because there are not many. I'm going to read this first line that describes this faction. A collection of witches, warlocks, demons, jinn, sorcerers, and assorted wielders of dark magic. Their ranks are lesser in numbers, but collectively more powerful. So we won't be seeing the armies here.
Right.
Yeah.
Except for maybe the shadow elves, maybe.
Yeah, I think traditionally your shadow or dark elves, I mean, they always do use some type of magics, right? I mean, they not all of them, but it's like part of their society or part of their civil, like their right. I mean, that's kind of always been the way it was. So maybe they're just allowed to use, they access that magic through the higher ups,
Yeah.
through a demon, dark magic type thing. Makes sense.
They probably get a lot out of being a part of Poxxus,
Yeah.
So, for the builders, we have two kind of builder. We have the Shadow Elf Warriors and we have the Shadow Elf Rangers,
Ooh.
and those are the only army builders of this faction.
I love the ranger.
The Ranger's
have.
so good.
I think he was my first mythic figure I think I've ever had.
I really want the Ranger.
Yeah, I really like him a lot.
Yeah.
So, moving on to one of the older characters as well, and here we have Taurian. And I like it because he's a shadow minotaur. We have shadow elves, and here we have a shadow minotaur. And I'm gonna read something here from the bio straight out. The shadow minotaur, their creation can be tracked back to the First Age, when Poxus agents stole away many woodland creatures and imbued them with dark magic. So I don't know about this. Could this be the case with the elves? I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know. I mean, that there are elves that were corrupted. I don't know.
Like, were the elves regular elves at one point, is what you're saying?
Maybe.
Possibly.
I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know. Since they're shadow elves and shadow minotaurs, it's like they point to something else. Why is Taurian important? At this point, when he is around, Poxus is not around. So, young Taurian, he grows up to become this mage who is great at spell casting, and he's looking forward to return of his master Poxus. So this that we keep coming back to, the Covenant of Shadows. He is the one being sent to the Covenant of Shadows to discuss and plan the return of the four great gods. And that's his role. And there we discuss. I mean, they get some kind of idea how to get the weapon that should bring back Poxus, the Plague Sayer. That would be a part of getting Poxus back. So even though I have Poxus showing here at the top of the screen, he is not around when Taurian is having his main role, I guess. So moving on to Arisak. These these robed wizards and mages that we're looking forward to get with the Poxxus wave now. I can say something about Arisak because when we're talking about mages, we have this conflict: Basilia, and we have Poxxus. And you can say that Arisak is one of those guys who didn't feel like the magic and the stuff that he was learning from Basilia was enough. So he was like, I need more power. Maybe this is kind of like a Anakin Skywalker or something. Like, I want more. I want more. So he just leaves the Basilia and went to, to the Nether Gate to embrace the chaos there. So that's him.
I cannot wait to get my hands on some wizards.
Yeah, you've been looking forward to them.
I have.
So have you been looking forward to this last character?
Yes, I have.
Wraith Haler. Well,
Yes.
she is a summoner, and she has this an awesome race of being an human geist. She's the only human geist we have in the line so far, and this is one of my favorite figures that I'm looking forward to. Among Poxus, I think it's just Poxus himself and Thrace that I'm looking forward to. I mean, those two that I'm looking forward to the most. And what is a human geist? I'll read it. It's a corrupt, supernatural mingling of flesh and phantasm. That is a human geist. And she's a summoner. Of course, she's summoned creatures. And what makes her extra powerful with the summoning skill is that she is a human geist, which means that she is partly phantasm. So she has a special connection to that other world.
So my understanding, it's part human, part ghost, kind of thing.
That is how I see these characters. So
part spirit, part human geist, like poltergeist.
Yeah, so it's flesh and phantasm.
That came out nice. I can't wait to get my hands on them. All of these, I think, if you were to ask me of this group of baddies, which figure I'm most excited to get my hands on, I don't know if I could pick one, but Curtis is saying you skipped Melina.
I did not skip Melina.
Oh! Wait till the end.
I didn't. I'm not bringing Melina out here because Melina is one of the tribute figures.
Ooh.
And the tribute figures, I'm not including any of the other tribute figures here. It doesn't matter how much we love them and if they have a bio coming in there. But from my understanding is that they're not to be counted into the overall lore. So that's why I'm not bringing them into the faction focus. But they're very cool. So, and here I'll just add back Asahazar to the bunch. Here they are. Poxus.
The baddies of
there
Poxus.